Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For today, I thought I'd share 50 tips and tricks to help you improve in Battlefield 2042. I found the easiest way to get better in any game is by just getting familiar with the mechanics and all the intricacies of that game. So I'm going to start off by covering the very basics and then gradually move on to the more advanced stuff later in the video. So whether you're a beginner or an advanced player, I'm certain you'll gain a bunch of tips from watching this video. So stick around to the end and save yourself the time of having to figure all of this out on your own. Also, if you have any tips of your own, do let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like if you do end up finding this helpful. Subscribe for more of the same content and share it with your squad so no one starts off on the wrong foot. Now then, let's get into it. Firing your weapon makes you show up on the minimap as a red dot. The only way to prevent that from happening is to equip a suppressor on your weapon. Traversal Sprinting enables you to run faster than usual. Just double press on the left stick, and if you have auto traversal sprint turned on in the settings, then you'll only need to press it once. You can auto sprint by changing the sprint keybind to left stick up. It's a workaround but does the job well. The only thing you need to keep in mind is when you're prone, pushing too far up on the left stick will make you stand up, so push up lightly if you intend to crawl. Unlike Battlefield 5, health automatically regens up to 100 HP, but taking any sort of damage will stop the healing process, so it's best to find cover if possible. You can revive anyone in your squad without being a medic, but only up to 50 HP. So if you're carrying a med crate, then dropping one after rezzing wouldn't be such a bad idea. Always use smoke grenades when reviving to conceal yourself and the other player. Just get into the habit of doing so, because losing 2 tickets is always worse than just losing 1. Also, you can revive when crouched or prone, which is really handy for when there's cover to hide behind. When a flag is contested, the number of enemies on the objective will appear on the flag. So if you're really far away, you can just aim down sight and you'll be able to see the amount of players contesting the point. Use this information to plan your next move, whether that be to disengage and wait for backup or to seek out action-packed objectives. Conquest flags are now divided into sectors. For example, the B flag is divided into B1 and B2, and only capturing both points will give you full control over the sector. Of course, the more sectors you hold, the more you drain the enemy team of tickets. Areas controlled by your team will appear blue on the map, and enemies held sectors will appear red. So whenever your location suddenly turns red on the minimap, then more than likely enemies will be nearby, so be on the lookout. McKay's grappling hook has a recharge meter which can be seen on your hipfire reticle. Just wait for the semicircle to fill and you're ready to grapple again. The kill card gives you vital information such as whether you've died by a headshot and the platform your opponent is playing on. This comes really handy for understanding why you may have died faster than usual. You can tell the difference between AI and a real player by looking at their uniform. They all wear generic uniform, and other ways of knowing is by reading the kill feed or the name tag above the player's head. You can reload while aiming down sight. This comes particularly handy if you're a sniper and don't want to take your eyes off the prize. Every sniper using a magnified scope gives off scope glint, so if you ever notice a bright glint, more than likely a sniper has their sights on you. SMGs have a shorter sprint to fire delay, better hipfire accuracy and faster deploy times compared to ARs, LMGs and snipers. So if you're looking to run and gun and be an aggressive player, SMGs are your go-to weapons. Ammo and medcrate icons appear on the minimap, so whenever you're totally out of supplies, just glance at the minimap and find the nearest crate. Teammates that get eliminated do show up on the minimap, so use that information to predict enemy movement. If you're playing as a medic, then use the revive icons to predict where your opponents could be. Once the player is eliminated, they'll drop an ammo pouch. You can grab one off the floor by simply walking over it and you'll be rewarded with a magazine or 2. It's very much like the scavenger perk in Call of Duty, but instead everyone has it. This is quite an obvious one, but for some reason players forget to do this, and that's to shoot through the gaps of staircases. Each map has a bunch of staircases, and somehow I've never been on the receiving end, so I thought it was worth a mention. Instead of spawning at base and running all the way, select a vehicle from the spawn screen and get there 10 times faster. Walking will likely cost you and your team a few flags in early game, so help your team out and avoid the dreaded journey. You can call in a robo-dog, a transport vehicle, a tank and much more by just holding R1 and L1. But don't forget, your calling can get stolen or destroyed while it's dropping down, so make sure to keep an eye out for Sundance and their wingsuit. You can lock doors from the inside by interacting with a tablet. I've seen far too many players die from attempting to squeeze through the gap, so don't be that person and be the person that locks the doors from the inside. You can break through fences by just simply punching your way through. So unlike the previous games, you don't need to carry a specific melee weapon anymore. You can deploy a bipod by pressing down on the D-pad, but you've got to be aiming down sight and positioned near a flat surface. The same button can be used for pulling out your underbarrel launcher, so depending on which attachment you decide to equip, down on the D-pad is all you need to know. You can also change the fire mode by pressing down on the D-pad, and once you've done so, a quarter of your hipfire reticle disappears to signify the new fire mode. Civilian vehicles parked around the map are drivable, and if you ever need a speed boost, just hold down on the left stick to go faster. Casper's drone can 3D spot players that will show up on the minimap. His EMP can disable vehicle weapons, and you can place C5 on the drone. Did you know the Surette pistol has a built-in ammo counter showing you the amount of Surettes remaining? So instead of glancing at the bottom right hand corner of the HUD, sometimes you're just better off glancing at the pistol. Falk can self-heal by shooting a Surette on the floor and running over it. Falk can also heal teammates by shooting at them, and direct hits on enemies can net you a kill or two. You can kill players with a grappling hook, whether they're in a vehicle or helicopter, it's all very much possible. The proximity ball 3D spots anyone nearby, and you'll get an audio cue once a player is spotted. Enemies won't get this audio cue, but the prox ball will flash red, so always keep an eye out for anything flashing on the floor. Armor plates provide you with additional 20 HP and can only be resupplied from ammo crates or supply drops. Each time you respawn, you get 2 plates, so don't forget to plate back up each time you redeploy. For guidance, use the blue health bar at the bottom right hand corner to gauge your armor level. EMP grenades are great for destroying annoying hardware such as sentry guns, drones, and trophy systems that are usually all parked up on the front line of breakthrough. The G5 pistol has a 3-round burst, so change the fire mode to get a better time to kill. You can improve your visibility by tweaking the brightness depending on the map you're playing on. For instance, snow maps are naturally bright, so you can get away with a low brightness setting, but when you're on a dark map and the tornado strikes, increasing the brightness will definitely help. AP rounds can damage and destroy tanks with a bit of good teamwork. Just use the plus system to switch to armor piercing rounds if you ever need to take out a tank or scare it into retreating. Did you know walking doesn't trigger Casper's motion sensor, so if you ever run into a few Caspers camping on a rooftop, walking will keep you off the radar. The hollow sight has a built-in ammo counter and a rangefinder, so if you ever need to know how far away a target is, the hollow sight is your friend. You can jump shoot. This will add variety to your playstyle and make you a lot more unpredictable. You can use momentum to bunny hop. B-hopping is a great way for catching players off guard or to hop back into cover when healing. Of course, there is a cooldown, so you'll get diminishing returns if you do spam the jump button. Did you know you can change directions mid-air by air strafing? It's a great way of dodging opponents when you're on the run, and it can also be very useful offensively to get the upper hand. Your hipfire strafe speed is always faster than your aim down sight strafe speed, so you're always better off shoulder peeking a corner when you're in hipfire to move in and out of cover a lot faster. McKay is the only exception, of course, since his abilities allow him to strafe faster in ADS. Changing the ammo type in the plus system will replenish your magazine and reserve ammo, so whenever you run out of ammo, just swap your magazine out, and depending on your playstyle, this may provide you with enough ammo to go without the ammo crate and opens up the slot for something else. Eliminating Boris also eliminates a sentry gun, so oftentimes you're better off taking out Boris instead of going for the sentry gun, which requires a lot more bullets to destroy and leaves you quite vulnerable. Players eliminated by a melee attack are unable to be revived and go straight back to the spawn screen. Knowing this can be extremely useful for punishing campers and guarantees a ticket for your team. Did you know each player has an unlimited amount of parachutes? Just double press crouch to cancel your parachute and press jump to pull the parachute again. This comes really handy in reducing the time you're airborne and exposed. You can also pull out your weapon while parachuting, and pushing down on the left stick will give you more control over your parachute. Whenever you get a blue tint on your screen, health regen will be paused and you won't be able to self heal either. Best thing to do is leave the area before you start to freeze and take damage. You can bounce on zip lines to make yourself a harder target to hit, and you can also jump off into a parachute at any given time. Just like in Apex, you're not locked into the animation, so don't ever feel the need to fully commit. And lastly, probably the easiest and fastest way of getting better is by just simply watching streamers like Broken Machine. Watching the routes he takes, how he turns gunfights around by using movement, and then try to replicate that in game. That's how I got better at Battlefield, and I highly recommend you guys to check him out if you're not familiar with him already. And I think those are all of the tips and tricks I've got for you today. I've rushed it and I've probably messed up here and there, but I hope you've taken something away from this video. And if you've got any tips of your own, do let us know in the comments down below. A like on the video would be appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe for more of the same content, and I'll see you later. Take care.